The Justice Department states its mission is to enforce the rule of law, its values, independence, and impartiality. But legal experts warn the department's recent moves and memos signal an alarming shift. KPBS's Amita Sharma is here to explain how that impacts San Diego's office. Welcome, Amita.
Oh, it's good to be with you, Maya.
The Justice Department dismissed the corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams. So can you please tell us how much of this worry among legal experts do you think stems from that?
So much, Maya. Just a little bit more background. The Justice Department ordered federal prosecutors 2 weeks ago to drop bribery and fraud charges against New York Mayor Adams or risk being fired. Now, they did this without examining the power of the evidence. Some prosecutors decided to resign instead. The rationale provided by the Trump administration for the dismissal of that case was it would hinder Adams' ability to help the administration enforce its illegal immigration crackdown. But so many people see it as a quid pro quo. And for that reason, I'm told by sources, it has unnerved every single federal prosecutor in the San Diego U.S. Attorney's Office for two reasons. It violates the pillars of their job, integrity being one, autonomy being another. I spoke with former San Diego U.S. Attorney Carol Lamb, and she views the Adams case as a warning shot to federal prosecutors across the country to heal. She actually used that language, that word, heal, and one that will play out with the next U.S. Attorney in San Diego.
I think you're going to see either total obedience or some push and pull, and some difficult times that might come to pass if this next U.S. attorney is determined to do what's best for the community, as opposed to just following orders from Washington.
Lamb believes all of this will have enormous influence on which cases federal prosecutors in San Diego work on. She says if immigration cases are elevated above others, then that means local federal prosecutors will likely not pursue white-collar crimes like public corruption. That includes cases like those against former Republican Congressman Duncan Hunter and Randy Duke Cunningham, both of whom Trump pardoned. Lamb was the U.S. attorney in San Diego when Cunningham pled guilty to corruption. Today, she says, that prosecution would give her pause.
Now, if I were U.S. attorney and the same kind of case were to come into the office, I have to confess, I think that would be one of the first issues in my head about is this a Democrat or a Republican? And I just really don't think that that's what the American people want.
Attorney General Pam Bondi also fired off some memos to federal prosecutors. There's a line in one that refers to Justice Department attorneys. It says if they refuse to advance good, fair arguments by declining to be in court or sign briefs, they are depriving the president of, quote, the benefit of his lawyers. Former U.S. Attorney Harry Litman says that's an obvious red flag because those lawyers are supposed to represent the law, the Constitution, not the president.
The message is whatever Trump wants, Trump gets, and there was a similar portion of an executive order that said that, and that means if Trump's views don't accord with the law, are not constitutional, you have to do them anyway.
And there is more language that states the obvious, such as, quote, there is no place in the decision-making process for animosity or careerism, and a statement that in the past, federal and state prosecutors have been weaponized. Litman says it's part of a theme.
They're full of little snipes and attacks on people within the department. You would never, ever, ever see that kind of insulting, nasty language in previous memos from previous attorneys general. And indeed, you know, the notion is it's one continuous Department of Justice.
And Maya, just to close the loop on how all of this affects local cases, in one of those Justice Department orders, there is an order that would revoke a Biden administration order to prosecute environmental misconduct cases in communities of color and low-income communities. Now, Lippman tells me that the rescission of that Biden administration order could mean that those environmental misconduct cases are no longer prosecuted in those communities here in San Diego.
Oh, some great interviews you got there and some really good information. Thanks so much, Amita.
Thank you, Maya.
And this story is part of our Public Matters initiative. You can learn more about it on our website, kpbs.org/publicmatters.